Yeah, huh? You guys enjoying the nice chilly weather, huh? Actually, today wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's warmer than yesterday.
Yeah, it's not that cold, so.
Alright, so what's on the menu for today?
So for today, let's talk about differences between Japanese work culture and Western work culture. How does
Okay.
that sound to you?
Interesting. Yeah. So let's see. You've worked in both in like overseas and in Japan, huh?
Yeah.
What are some things that sort of stood out in your mind? Huh?
I think the biggest difference, I noticed between both, work cultures, we can say Japanese workplaces are kind of more formal.
Yes.
I mean, you can say, Americans are more casual in the office than in Japan. And then, because once you, step into the offices in Japan, everyone calls in each other by their, family name, not the, first names, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't think it was always this casual in the States, huh? Or I mean, I'm thinking from American point of view. I think in the last 30, 40 years, the barrier between like the managers and the other staff has sort of disappeared. Huh? I mean, it's very casual. You address each other by first names sometimes. So I think in more formal settings, it's still you surnames. Huh?
Yeah.
But I think it depends on your relationship with the management. Huh? I mean, my brother's an accountant. He works for this medium-sized company, but he doesn't wear a suit like in Japan. That's pretty much a given, right? I mean, everyone wears.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think the most businessmen we call salary management, wear gray, navy, or black suits, and everyone they wear the same thing, like black suits, black tie, whatever it is, almost wearing ties, and even in summer.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. And I see women wearing an exact same outfit, white button-down shirt.
Yeah, white
with
blouse.
Navy or the black blazer and a matching scarf. And what you call it? A panty hose.
Pantyhose, pantyhose or
pantyhose and
tights, yeah.
Yeah, and black kitten heels and with their hair tied in the back in a ponytail, and everyone looks exactly the same. So it's kind of weird, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's weird. I think that's just the work culture, isn't it? I mean, that's how you're supposed to dress and
Yeah.
Like there's a formality to these things, huh? And I think that's what, especially now, like in Western culture, it lacks, huh? I mean, there still needs to be that fine line between like what is, or a clear line, I'm sorry, between like what business and casual. You know what I mean? But like I said, I guess nowadays with everyone working from home and stuff, it sort of blurred the lines, of what is considered like what is accepted and what is not, huh?
Right.
But in terms of like the work style, I mean, what do you prefer? Like working overseas, where it seems like it's less casual and they're working less hours, but in actuality, it's probably the same, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure, which one I prefer, but there are so many, things, in Japanese and work style. I think, clear, differences, between the two is I think, leadership style. American, just workplaces generally follow the system, kind of a system of what you call it, structured individualism.
Yeah.
But they are focused on, much more like an individualism. While Japanese workplaces and the Japanese corporate cultures is focused on much more call it
collective.
Yeah, collectivism. So I think that's a big difference that I notice. I think American managers are capable of teamwork and corporate spirit. They value much more individual kind of freedom, and I think their first interest is in advancing their own career.
Yes.
I mean that's my perspective, but
Yeah. No, you're right.
And on the other hand, Asian countries like Japan are much more focused on collectivism, like I said. So I think most of the Japanese companies are hierarchically. Is that right term?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, go ahead.
Hierarchical structure, so they're much more kind of group oriented. and view themselves as in team or whole unit rather than individual.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the States you're given a lot more freedom, huh? and leeway, huh? To like sort of figure out what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to do it.
Right.
I think that's part of the leadership. I think they don't want you to do it just one way. I guess that's American spirit, right? Sort of like find your way, and you know what I mean. I can respect it, and I sort of I embrace that here and there. But I also like I think the Japanese work mentality. Yeah? Like it's like I said, it's collective, and everyone sort of respects each other, and I think to a certain extent, I think like when they make a decision, it's sort of a group consensus, right? Like I wouldn't just make a decision by myself. I have to go through up the proper channels and up the ladder. You know what I mean? Which results in a little bit of like things slow down quite a bit, right? You gotta wait for it. But
Yeah, I mean, whenever, I mean, if you want to, just to move up the corporate ladder, I mean, you have to make sure that you get approval from your supervisors whenever you make a decision. So because there is one kind of the mantra that most of the Japanese companies follow is called whole renso. Have you ever heard of it? Yeah. So whole renso is something that in companies, that combines, the first syllables of three verbs. Hokoku, which is report. Renraku, contact, and sodan, consult. So that's something that you have to always do to make sure you're on the same page within the team, and in terms of making decisions and stuff. I think it's important, but it's kind of mendokusai. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, have you noticed that there's a shift in that type of like thinking? Has Japan sort of I mean, business culture has it sort of adopted more of these Western ideas?
I think so, but but most traditional Japanese companies, since they are kind of big companies with a long histories.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for them to just adopt a new environment or But I think emerging companies like young startups probably they adopt to the Western cultures and Western style of business.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I guess taking the best out of both, I think cultures is probably the best road forward, huh? Like you said, I think the waiting for a response from the top. I mean, that could take like days to years. Huh? Like I mean, I can see why people like who get stuck in these middle management. And they're like, oh, you know what, screw this, and they go off on their own. Yeah, it's hard, huh?
I mean, the one thing that is, unique to Japan, I mean, Japanese and the corporate culture or, the work culture is, I think, nomikai.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Because the Japanese workers are often expected to party with the co-workers and after work. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's unique to Japan. And because, you often see, groups of salarymen drinking and socializing. I don't think, you see it happen in other countries, like in Western countries and...
Well, it's more casual and it's organized like with your colleagues, as opposed to like management asking like their employees to go drinking together. Huh? It's not as formal. Because I mean at work, like I used to hang out with people from work, right? You go out for drinks and stuff, huh? But it was never like, the manager said, okay, we're going for a drinking party. Let's go. Never something like that. It's always a lot more casual, huh? So
yeah. I think that's kind of part of expectation that in Japanese corporate culture, especially in traditional Japanese companies, like big companies. So, but it is not necessarily required, but it is socially expected to a certain degree, I guess. And it can be kind of helpful.
Yeah.
Helpful way to build strong relationships.
Yeah.
And work your way up ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, do you find yourself like wanting to join a company? Like, do you miss that camaraderie of a big company?
No, absolutely not. It's not efficient. I mean, it's fun to just socialize and sort of mingle with them, once in a while, but it's not productive in an So my answer is no.
I mean, like another aspect was the work-life balance. Like I talked to some people who had gone overseas and returned to Japan, and they really, that's the one thing they missed about living overseas was that work-life balance. Where I think in the West, where they sort of they prioritize like like time with the family and friends.
Yeah.
But I think in Japan it's sort of flipped. Am I right on that, or?
I guess. I mean, we don't have right balance between private life and work life. So because you have to kind of sacrifice your you see what I mean. So but it depends. It depends on the company. So
yeah, it's changing for sure. I think a lot more people. I think companies are trying to emphasize this as well. Yeah, trying to promote like not to work overtime and like Golden Fridays. Remember that a couple of years back from the government? That was one of their big campaigns, but I think it fell flat. I think. At any rate,
yeah. I mean, I hope it's changing because when I used to work in a Japanese company, I would often work overtime until midnight, like 11, 12, sometimes 1.
Yeah.
I missed the last train a lot, and that was crazy. But that's kind of normal back then. But in retrospect, it was crazy. I don't do it again anymore. But
well, it's like a rite of passage, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think that I think every person should go through that, huh? To know what it's like, huh? So yeah. Without the bitter, the sweet isn't as sweet, huh? So.
So you have worked for Japanese companies, right? Some Japanese companies.
Yeah.
So do you see any difference between Japanese work culture and then Western work culture from your perspective?
Yeah, the biggest thing would be I think when I was working at that company, like there was a lot of like they're very detailed about like like everything was. I mean, we had so many meetings, and I'm not sure if it's a Japanese thing, but like they love having meetings, and But I'm wondering, was that just a indicator of like inefficiency? You know what I mean? Like
so did you feel that that was productive?
No, because we would sit there and because it wasn't a startup. I mean, it was a small company. But I just remember there being countless meetings. And then after meetings, we'd go out for nomikai, right? And we'd have another informal meeting there, and it was like never ending, and nothing really got done. I mean, whereas like I think instead of just talking about it, they should just do it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, the biggest thing was just I think a lot of not being very productive, huh? Being unproductive. Like I think a lot of people there were like always, I'm working so hard just to show you, but like in actuality, I'm like. Maybe they're not working so hard. I mean, I only realized that towards the end of my time there, huh? That people were like, I thought maybe they look busy, but they're not really that busy.
Right.
Because I mean, at first you're sort of overwhelmed and like taken back, like wow, everyone's working so hard. They're working from 9 to like 8, 9 to 9. Wow, that's great. I admire that, huh? But after a while, you're working. You're like, do we really have to be here this amount of time? Like, then you're afraid to leave. You're like, can I leave first? And yeah.
So did you like it?
Yeah, at the time I didn't, but in retrospect, I wish I would have embraced it more, and
embraced what?
Embraced their type of work, that style of work. Like I wish I would have been more proactive and like I would have asserted myself because I was very passive and I mean I was the only English speaker in that entire company and so the language barrier was sort of hard as well. Like I wasn't able to understand all the things that were going on at that point in time. But I mean, in retrospect, I wouldn't change a thing aside from like I wish I would have been more proactive. Definitely.
I mean, would you want to go back?
Not now. No. Because I mean, like, no. If you're asking me if I was in my 30s again, yeah, I would.
Really?
I mean, to show myself that I can do it. You know what I mean? Because I sort of quit it myself. But I mean, I think, yeah. If it was a younger me, definitely.
Okay, so it means that you just want to improve yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like like Japanese people have this thing. They leave no stone unturned. You know what I mean? And I don't think I embrace that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Hope to see you soon.
Yeah. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Take care.
Take care. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
ジローとチーの英語で雑談を聞いてくださり本当にありがとうございました。質問や感想、ポッドキャストで取り上げてほしいトピックなどありましたら概要欄のリンクにてご連絡お願いします。また、このポッドキャストを聞いて少しでも良かったなと思ったらお聞きの媒体にてぜひ良いレビューをお待ちしております。
Thank you for listening to JIRO and CHI's English podcast. If you have any questions, comments, or topics you'd like us to discuss on the podcast, let us know through the link in the description. And if you enjoyed our podcast, leave us a positive review on the platform where you listen to it.
では皆さん、次回のエピソードでお会いしましょう。
Looking forward to seeing you guys again in the next episode. Take care and see you guys later.
Bye!